guys, welcome back. We are going to talk about Monday Night Raw this week. Had some interesting things go down there. We started the show with Damian Priest and Jey Uso, which I think was good to see. We needed, in my opinion, to see Damian back on the show, standing strong as the World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, Jey Uso being his competitor, we will get that at Backlash. We then get attempted sneak attack, of course. There was the issue between JD and Damian, so that puts things into perspective as to what's going down between Judgment Day while Rhea is out right now. Fortunately, with an injury for a little while, hopefully not too long. Honestly, Rhea is a huge part of this roster right now. So that was a good exchange between the two of them, though. They both looked very solid. We then got the championship match between Awesome Truth and DIY. Awesome Truth picked up the victory. I like that they're keeping the titles on them, giving them some time. I think the story more here was at the end, Tommaso Ciampa did not look through. He didn't necessarily want to show respect. He kind of started walking away a little bit. Not leaving DIY, but he definitely is not happy with where things are. So, I think we might see a heel turn for DIY as a whole, not just Ciampa. So, and that could be interesting on the main roster. We saw a little bit of DIY somewhat as a heel in NXT, so this could work. We will see what happens there. The interesting thing with this is that we have already seen the heel turning point of Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Not necessarily full heels, but definitely doing things that are more on that heel side. We're starting to get them that heat. So we could be getting a return of the Wave, this time on the main roster. We'll see if that works. It may not. So Dominic is unable to compete. So he's going to Santos Escobar, team up with JD and McDonough against Ricochet and Andrade. So that should be fun. So this one got interesting. We have the New Day is coming out. They are going to face Imperium, Giovanni Vinci, and Ludwig Kaiser. Now, if anyone watched the other video I did having to do with the draft, you will notice that I did mention that Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser are listed separate from Giovanni Vinci. This is why. Okay? So, they're in this match against the New Day. Now, The New Day ends up picking up the victory. This doesn't sit well with Gunther. Now, afterwards, Gunther walked away, but not before he looked at Kaiser, and it looked like he said something to him, or at least motioned to him, signaled to him in some way. And after he walked away, Kaiser laid out Vinci. He attacked him. So that part of Imperium is no more. Vinci is no longer part of it. So interesting things could happen here, because you have other people that could potentially take that spot that already kind of possess some of those characteristics that would fit well with Imperium. Here's a name, okay? Throwing this out there, we will see what happens tonight. Ilya Dragunov. Okay? Just throwing this out there because he lost his NXT championship Tuesday night, which we kind of suspected he would. He is definitely ready for either Raw or SmackDown. And honestly, he would not fit in terribly with Gunther and Kaiser. Something to think about. It could happen. So we will see what happens there. They could just leave it with two people. That's a possibility as well. So we will see what happens there as the next couple of weeks progress. Then had Drew McIntyre had from when he came out to the ring. Sheamus interrupted that, and he was going to be having a match. There was a moment of some body shaming, if you will, from Drew to Sheamus. Sheamus does not look in bad shape. Is he in maybe the best shape that he's been in? Maybe not. But remember this. Sheamus has been doing this for a long time. He is not new. He's not necessarily young anymore. Does he still have something to contribute? Absolutely he does. Does that necessarily mean winning a championship? Maybe not. I wouldn't completely take it out of consideration, but he's not going to be necessarily probably your top guy anymore, but he definitely still has something to contribute. And right here is a good example of that. He's helping to get Drew's heel character over more, right? He's also helping move that storyline along between Drew and CM Punk. So then we have Shinsuke coming on out. They had a match. I honestly do not remember who. Okay, Sheamus ended up picking up the victory. Okay. I couldn't remember for sure. Honestly, it didn't last that long. But it still kind of moves those storylines along. So it was definitely worth having that in there. We then had the promo from Chad Gable. Now, we yet another QR code glitch happened here when they were coming out. Separate video, I talked about that separately as far as where we think all of that is going. But this is where we saw that. So this segment drops clues as to whether or not Alpha Academy is going to stay together, or if certain members may split. I don't necessarily like exactly entirely how they did this. So Chad essentially berated every member, saying everything that he thought that they were doing wrong, all of this, then demanded a pledge of allegiance to an extent from all of them. Now, I would like to see them take things further with Maxine. And by continuing to put her down, even through Chad Gable, yes, it gets heat on him. I don't necessarily like it. I would have liked it more, I think, if Maxine had opted to walk away. Because he could have. He gave them that option. It was either aligning with him and saying that they will do everything they can for him to get the Intercontinental Championship, or walk away. And they could have. I could see Otis staying with Chad. They have done that piece of the two of them being heels before. We haven't seen much of a heel Akira Tozawa, and I don't know exactly what he would do to really succeed on himself. As a heel team, I don't know that there would really be a way to get serious heat on them. It would be more of a comedy heel team, and I don't like that for them. So we'll see where that ends up if they get drafted together separately, what ends up happening there. I think he's going to be a good deal if he can get doing it, I think maybe by himself. He did well with Otis, he did. We then got kind of a stare down. Now this was before Ricochet and Andrade came out with JD McDonough and Santos Escobar. There was a stare between Dominic and Liv. So we will have to see where they go with that. No words were exchanged, just looking at each other. It would be interesting if they set that up somehow with Rhea. I would be intrigued to see where they would go with that. But that might be the avenues that they are approaching there. We then had Ricochet and Andrade came out on top against McDonough and Escobar. Damian Priest obviously not happy about this. And I think we're going to get to see even more frustration with Damian. This could lead to that split of Judgment Day. Potentially. We'll find out. We then had the main event, the Women's World Championship Battle Royal. Rhea had to vacate that title, so they had a Battle Royal for that on Raw. I'm not going to go into everyone that was involved. The last two competitors, I will say, were Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. This makes sense, and I think it sets things up for the future. When Rhea returns, I think potentially we see Liv versus Becky versus Rhea. I think that would be a very good match. But we we'll see where this goes. As of right now, we don't have a contender for Backlash for Becky, so I don't know that she will necessarily defend that title there. They could do Liv or Nia Jax. It would make sense. I don't know that you do both. The interesting thing took place during this match, so they do want to touch on, was that Chelsea Green was eliminated. The referee did not see it. The referee was busy dealing with something else and just was not looking. So she sat down on the apron, not touching the floor, and then the referee looked at her and she indicated she had not touched the ground. So the referee told her to get back inside. This is just a fun little moment for Chelsea, and it gets her heel character over a little bit more. So it's just one of those small touches that I think worked really well. Okay, so that was Monday Night Raw. Let me guys know your thoughts, whether you agree, disagree. Let me know. We will see you guys later.